This is the scientist who completely changed my life by showing me that I was doing everything all wrong. And when I say everything, I mean like the way I make a living, the way I stay fit, the way I think about activism, and the way I garden. Because Meadows was one of the major inspirations for permaculture. And so if you want to understand how to have the easiest, best garden you've ever had, then what I'm going to say in this video is absolutely essential. And you can apply it to pretty much anything else that you'll do in life too. See, in this book, Meadows introduced the general public to MIT research about how to intervene in complex systems. And by complex systems, I mean like our bodies and the ecosystems, our gardens, the political system, and so on. Important stuff. You see, there are about 12 main areas where we can intervene in complex systems, which break down into about 4 main categories I'll tell you about. And this thing is like a lever, because these down here are easy to figure out how to reach and access and change. But they don't cause much change, and they require a lot of energy, which also makes them inherently kind of violent. While when we move up here, we can have profound impacts with small amounts of energy, but it's difficult to figure out how to access them and actually manipulate these. We've got to be clever. We'll need a plan, and we'll usually need friends. But as Meadows says, at that highest level, this is where people throw off addictions, live in constant joy, bring down empires, get locked up or burned at the stake or crucified or shot, and have impacts that last for millennia. Or just have really nice gardens. But the problem is, as Meadows says, we always focus down here. Now, an example she often gave was poverty and the ways we try to deal with poverty. For example, we'll make small changes to the tax code or give people tiny handouts. But meanwhile, we leave all the powerful behaviors, systems, and paradigms in place that are creating wealth inequality in the first place. For example, racism, classism, and just letting the wealthy own freaking everything. And so we've had a war on poverty for 40 years, and poverty's only gotten worse. And it's exactly the same thing with health. When we try to lose weight, the first thing we do is start counting our calories or trying to avoid food. But that sets up this violence between that piece of cake over there that I want to eat and my fitness goal, and the piece of cake is going to win. But when we can move up to changing our behaviors or changing systems or changing our whole mindset into one of like a fitness lifestyle, that's when we can have profound impacts that last. And this is exactly the same with our gardens. We'll see some weeds, freak out, decide they're too many, and try to remove them with our hands with brute force. But when we can move up to systems like no-till, deep mulch, and guilds, then we may find we don't even have to weed anymore. So on YouTube, I have a ton of in-depth videos on this topic because